Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Planning and Licensing tonight on the 26th of November. Christmas hurtling towards us with no let up. So first of all, apologies, Duncan.
This evening we have apologies from Councillors Williamson and Morris.
Wonderful, thank you. Declaration of interest. Anyone got anything that's sprung to the forefront of the minds? If it happens to spring to that forefront in the little fuzzy area, then we can declare it as and when. Meeting management issues. I don't know. We haven't got any, have we?
Well, there's something that I wanted to talk to people about. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no.
Oh, declaration of interest.
I overlook Porth Parade, the house that's
I don't think
No,
okay.
it's not. No.
Yeah.
You haven't got a share issue on it and bought it. And
No.
Put a try
Okay.
through. No, okay. No, you're fine. Yeah, meeting management issues.
I
Duncan.
just wanted to have a quick conversation with you about our December meetings. In their wisdom, full council have agreed that we have a meeting on Wednesday, the 10th of December, a fortnight from now, and then we have one 6 days later on Tuesday, the 16th.
Oh, I thought full council's on Wednesday the 3rd, and the
It's nothing
and the
to do with full
17th.
council. This is what the civic calendar says.
I thought, okay, full council I've got on Wednesday the 3rd of December, and the one on the Wednesday the 17th of December has been cancelled.
Nonetheless, we have the civic calendar has us meeting on Wednesday the 10th and Tuesday the 16th. We then don't meet again until the 7th of January.
Right.
I can just about manage the Tuesday the 16th because it's so close after the 10th.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, I've already got 5 applications for the 10th and I've still got a week to go.
Yeah.
December is traditionally a busy month, and I'm going to have, I could potentially look at having maybe 10 planning applications to write up, maybe more, at the same time as putting out the papers for another meeting.
So what was our original date for planning licensing? That was the 10th, was it?
10th, and then followed quickly by the 16th.
16th, yeah.
That's what you're proposing now.
That's what we've got. That's the civic calendar.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I wouldn't propose that in a month.
So how
What are you suggesting? You're bringing a suggestion.
Part of the problem is that we've got a meeting scheduled for our next meeting will be, I think, the 7th of January. So that's quite a long time to go without a meeting.
Is there a problem with the 17th?
it's
The day
it,
before the 18th.
no, it's the 16th. It's only giving Duncan a week to prepare the planning applications for the 16th. December. Well, less than a week. It's giving 6 days. But then we've got a month until the meeting in January. So,
What's the plan?
What would you like?
Well, our options are. We do have it in our power to cancel a meeting, but unfortunately our terms of reference do not say you can reconvene that meeting for a different
is Karen
day.
getting in?
They do not say that we can reconvene for a different date. If we were, for instance, in quorate, or we knew in advance that we were going to be in quora on the 16th, then we could have a different date. But obviously we're getting very close to Christmas. I mean, the 18th would be a possibility for an extraordinary meeting, but this is unfortunately all very concertinaed.
So the 18th is the election day, so...
Oh, there you go. Right. Well, it sounds as if we are probably just going to have to plough on and try and do the 10th and the 16th then?
So, 'cause
The only
otherwise
way you
the
can
gap
really
will
work
be too
it,
long
isn't
to
it?
have so many on set.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. I think the idea of cancelling.
We'll
is
just
a-
have
is
to
a-
try and manage it, Duncan,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
do the
That's
best we can.
absolutely fine. Just as
Far
long
from
as long as
ideal.
we all know. And yeah, if anybody can't make the 16th, please let me know as soon as possible because
So was it always the 10th and the 16th?
Yeah,
that was what was agreed last May,
yeah.
apparently. Yeah.
Where's the biggest pinch point for you then? Is it the 10th and the 16th?
16th.
16th.
Absolutely the 16th.
It's not having a time frame before, with Duncan then to get the feedback back on
Yeah.
the
It's
10th,
not enough time to turn around one meeting
and then get all the
Well, it's
planning
gonna be,
applications.
it's just going to have to be, isn't it?
Because, normally Sandy and I meet now with Duncan on the Tuesday in between to go through the planning applications that are coming through, which will be the day of the meeting.
We'll figure it out as best we can, okay? That's all I can
So
say.
if dates permit, you can take some of the load from the 10th and put it onto the 16th.
If the dates permit, yes, that's a
But I mean, we've already
possibility.
got stuff Duncan's got 5 already.
Yeah. But the one that I've received, in fact, I've got a 6th one came in today, but the 6th one had a date of the 17th on it. So that could potentially go to the 16th without having any extensions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything from, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out, don't worry. I just wanted to bring it to people's attention, see if anybody got any amazing
Bright
ideas as
ideas.
to how
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could manage it. But
You're saying that if you're in Quora, then you'd rather know sooner or later?
Yeah.
no, if people aren't able to make the 16th, yeah, if you could let me know as soon as possible, because that's, especially if we're looking to carry applications that would have gone to the 10th, if we're looking to carry those forwards, if we were in a position where through nobody's fault, we're all busy at Christmas, we couldn't have the 16th, then I would want to get as much done on the 10th as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, noted. All right.
Cool. Thanks very much.
I'm assuming because we have someone in the audience that we will be amending the agenda to fit in with what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah. Minutes. I haven't got any minutes to sign
minutes,
off.
sorry, that's one of the things that's dropped off the
Okay.
edge of a cliff this week.
Okay,
I do
that's fine.
apologise, we'll make sure the
That's okay.
12th of November are here for the next meeting, okay?
So we've got no matters arising from the minutes, unless they've got anything. No. Right. Public question time. So. In the audience, we do have the neighbours regarding application 8 for Anthony Road. So, have you got something you want to tell us first?
I'm so nervous, I've just prepared it as a speech.
And that is fine, that's fine. So, you need, yes, if you can sit down there, say who you are and what it's concerning. Yeah, pop the light on.
Is that the red light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then.
Okay, it's concerning application PA 2507801. As I understand it, the application was changed late yesterday afternoon to say not an application for a dormer. So I'm here tonight just looking for a bit of clarity. What I would call the headline, where you look at what it says on the first page of has changed to say not a dormer, but the application form still has dormer on it. And the application form states it has windows in white PVC, but there are no windows shown on the roof elevation. So if it's going to have Velux windows, I'd like to clarify that they'll be of a height that can't be looked out of. There are also no east elevations shown on the plans, and that's my side, the east elevation. So would this have a window? And if so, what height would it be at? I'm slightly concerned over the increase in ridge height, but I'm not technical, so I don't know how more imposing this would look from my side. It's just a point to raise that I don't know anything about, really. If approved, will this set a precedent for other bungalows to be converted to two-storey? Although I'm not sure if you class it as two-storey if it's not a dormer. This is the third application from pre-app advice 00313, which was declined, and application 05796 that was withdrawn. As this isn't a dormer now, would the concerns in the conclusion of the pre-app advice still apply? That's all I've got to say.
Which side is yours on?
Your side? No, the other side.
The other side.
Your side,
Yeah. So, what's that? Yeah, where's the south? Is that south side?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
East side. So that's,
Yeah, just that's their old car, so yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the white one there on the left.
yeah,
As I'm looking at it, the left-hand side.
left of left of the car.
Towards you,
Left of the car.
yes. As I'm looking at flat screen.
Yeah.
it's left.
No.
No,
No, that's right of the car. That's left of the car.
number 6,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have seen this before. So has anybody got any queries for this before we move it up the agenda? Do you want to put your speaker on, Joanna? Joanna, put your speaker on.
It's very difficult because we don't actually know what the change is. So when they say it's not a dormer, is it just a loft conversion internal, Duncan?
Well, yeah, there's been confusion on it. That I'd raised this issue with Duncan earlier to seek clarity because they'd resubmitted the same form, which said that they were going to have a dormer, but the elevations didn't have it as a dormer. They've just done this internal development inside with no windows.
So if that is what they're planning to do, and I'm not clear if that is what they're planning to do, would you have any problem with the application? It's only if they are, so they're raising the roof a little, even without a dormer.
550 millimetres, so 55 centimetres.
Yeah, so would you have an objection to them raising the roof if there's no dormer?
I
If
don't
they're
know
looking-
what it would look like from my side, so I'm not 100% certain whether I've got a full objection, because you can't, that's the front of the bungalow, and where it would be overlooking me is the other side, from the Gannel side.
Yeah.
And obviously it would depend if they've got windows on the height of them, but there are no windows on this plan.
Yep.
But it would just say windows on the application form.
Oh,
So has it still got windows? So
Going to
apparently,
bring up the application. form
apparently
just
the
to
application
confirm this.
form has been changed and altered, but it doesn't sound like it all the way through. So if they've still got windows there, yes, they've still got windows there. So and they're still talking about the dormer is to be clad in anthracite grey composite cladding. So there's going to be issues, I think, when I go through this that are still there, that there's a clash between the application form and what's being offered to us. Yeah. Yeah.
So your main concern is being overlooked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. When I go through it, it will go through their pre-application, which was advice given, and I'll discuss that when we get to it. So, has anyone got anything else that they'd like to ask? No. Yeah, no, thank you for coming in. Very, very astute of you to notice, so well done. Because the objection you put, I think, on the last time when it was withdrawn, came in late, didn't it? Because we didn't see it.
You didn't see it because I didn't know the meeting was on.
No.
I didn't get a letter from Cornwall Council
No.
2 weeks after the date of the letter, and I didn't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the meeting was on the night it was.
There. That's okay. That's all right. I had taken note of that, and then your quite your statements. Did we we haven't got actually those objections that were raised then. But thank you, we've taken note of that. So what I propose to do then, if I can then have a seconder, is to raise this up to the agenda to be discussed now. Second that, all in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Right, so Duncan, if we can look at this. So we're going to discuss then the application PA 25/07801 for Anthony Road, which I presume now is just down as a loft conversion. I don't know, Duncan. I haven't got the...
Right, I'll just give a quick update before you start,
Okay.
if that's okay. So Sarah had raised concerns because the plans looked really wrong, and that's a lot to do with the fact that that the application appeared online and in all the written communication as loft conversion with rear dormer to provide additional lounge space and bedroom. So Sarah, having seen the problem with this, I've contacted the officer. The officer has confirmed that the description was wrong. The description has now been updated, and we are being asked to look at an application that is a loft conversion to provide additional lounge space and bedroom. So the words "with rear dormer" have been removed from the description, and so that description, loft conversion to provide additional lounge space with bedroom, is appropriate to the plans that we have in front of us.
Okay, right. I still think if we go through then people will see what the issue has been. So that's location plans. So we're out Pentire Way. We're all right with where we are. Number 4 here, and the lovely couple in the audience then are in this property here next to them. And if we've seen the street scene. So then related cases. So basically, PA 25/00313 was seen by the Cornwall Council officer. If we can we get that advice letter up, Duncan? I think it was seen, and it was closed with advice given. And the advice given, I think if we scroll down, I think this
paragraph, these 2 paragraphs here, I think.
No, I think no. No, it's the conclusion where it says what it's not to have the dormer. So the pros will increase the floor in the present property as its name. So no, I think we need to keep going down. It is page. I think I gave it to you on page 4, didn't I? On the.
Page 3.
Okay, sorry, page 3. Conclusion, right. In summary, the proposed residence and construction of full-width dorm would be highly visible and detract from the character of the area. The design would conflict with NDP character study, and the impact of the character of the area would conflict with policy 12 of the CLP and paragraph 135, Nuki neighbourhood plan. Furthermore, the proposed dorm would significantly overlook the neighbouring properties which currently benefit from a level of privacy. If the application is submitted for the above proposal, it would be unlikely to be supported. So what they did, though, was that they actually then put the proposal in, and we saw that then later with PA 25/05796, where we didn't object but raised concerns of overlooking the neighbours. Have I got that as the next one? Did I put that as? No, maybe not. Okay, so, but then the application was withdrawn, and the objection was put in by number 6, the neighbours as well, confirming all their concerns that the property and overlooking, and so it was withdrawn. So now we come to the application now. So we've got the, oh yes, it was page 3, yes, I've got it on here. Right, so this is where we're at the moment. So if we can go to the existing floor plans and elevations, please, Duncan, and we'll have a look. So there it is. None of the rooms are labelled, so it is guesswork, and it's got the raised garage to one side, and this is the north elevation is the road side. So that's what you see. That's the garden. So then, if we go to proposed. So the application they've just put back in still refers to having a dormer. So then I was...
It's been updated.
Yes, but not... I was saying... I'm just... Sorry, Duncan.
It has said that it's been updated, so we need to forget about dormer. We need to judge it as a loft conversion to provide additional lounge space and bedroom.
So has it been fully updated, though, Duncan? Because it didn't have it on the form that you had there at the moment. It still had there was going to be windows in it. Or if they just updated the title, that's still not...
I can only go by what the case officer has told me, and the case officer said that the description has been amended to reflect the fact that the dormers aren't being added. So if we go down a route where we're talking about the dormers, it's effectively Cornwall Council will just throw that in the bin because it's not relevant because the description has been updated.
Right, it's just a shame that they didn't actually then put a new copy on the website.
Yeah, the website has been, the description on the website has been updated.
It is different, it's lost.
But I totally agree that, well, the application form that I've got is definitely, it's definitely, I think it's the application form for the last application, to be honest.
Joanne, have you got the current one up, Joanna?
I've got the description, I'm just looking at the application form now.
Can you scroll down the application form to where it's got materials and things? Has that been changed?
Where's that? Description of materials. Does the proposed development require any materials to be used externally? Yes.
And then what does it say?
Please provide a description, it's walls, render, dormer to, you're right, dormer to be clad in anthracite grade composite. So
It's-
the application form has not been corrected.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So I'm afraid, Duncan, he might say that, but it's still up there. That,
He's also talking about windows and white PCV.
yes, yeah.
Right.
So when I looked at it, so if I can just finish, when I looked at it, I had the copy then of the application form with the north elevation, with the south elevation, of course, with no dormer, hence I raised it as an issue. So it's raising the roof. So what it seems now that they're proposing is this sitting room, bedroom space up in the loft by putting stairs in there with no windows whatsoever. But they're still raising the roof. So the thing is then whether they do that, and then personally I think there's the risk then they'll try and get the dormers in then later. So I'm still raising. This is one thing. Go on, Joe.
Okay. So, I mean, I think the first thing we probably need to do is in the return to Cornwall Council, we need to capture the narrative that there's inconsistencies in the application, whether that be a clerical error or not. We have to simply point that out. That's the point that I'm making, and on the basis that we have a application that has inconsistencies within it, whether they be technical or not, I can't see that we're in a position to decide on it anything other than to object to the thing that we've got in front of us, simply on the grounds that there are inconsistencies that can't be overlooked.
could I say that the case officer has come back to us and said, with an updated description, she is now happy for us to look at the plans and make a decision. Okay.
Our concern is that we're looking at an application that talks about windows and dormers.
Windows and doors, yeah.
However, perhaps we could just discuss whether we think, because the only external difference is that increased height of the roof. Can we look at the street scene again?
Can I make one more point before we carry on? The other point I'd like to make is that essentially we're being asked to make a decision on
Hearsay.
what is an incomplete and inaccurate set of proposals. Right, so when it's ready, we should look at it, but it's not ready, so why are we looking at it? That's my point.
The case of,
Isn't-
I mean,
I-
we rarely look at an application form when we look at the plans. The description now matches the plan. I'm just reporting back what I've been told. The description now matches the plans, and we are being asked to look at the plans and decide whether we are happy with it or not. I don't think that she's going to. Well, you might be able to ask her to reconsult, but we have been asked to look at this application with an updated description.
I know what you're saying, Joe. Karen, you wanted to say something.
How can we approve a loft extension when there's no windows in there at all?
So we can talk about that. So I think, okay.
I appreciate what you're saying, Duncan, about, yes, I understand. And I think what I'd say is that there's a question of don't shoot the messenger. So your report is noted. I think what I would come back with, and I suppose this would be a message to the officer, is that yes, the title has been amended, but I would challenge the officer's assertion that the application is now ready for consideration, simply because it has the word dormer and other parts that we've already been through. We can't make a decision until it's ready.
So what you're saying, you said earlier, an inconsistency between the application form and the plans.
Yeah.
The application form that we have in front of us, and
Yeah.
that's what we're going on.
Yeah.
Because we've just
No,
got
it's
those.
just, I just need to understand where you're coming
Between
from,
the
that's
title
all.
and the content.
I'm not arguing the point, I just need to understand
Yeah,
where
no, I
we're
get
coming
it.
from.
Between the title and the content, there are inconsistencies, because the title does not mention dormer, the content does.
Yeah, and it is between.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think if we were going to advise you on what message to put back to full council, I think that would probably be where I would start. So.
And I'd say that, I mean, I do look at the applications, and sort of it is part of what we are giving our consultation as only consultees, then it's not being correctly submitted and or fixed. So we're only giving our consultation judgment on what we've been presented with, and we are still being presented then with inaccurate form on their website. So, you know, you can't just give it on somebody's hearsay, because then if it's stamped off that we've agreed it and that form is part of the application, then that we're found wanting as well. So,
The developer will say, where's my dormer?
yeah.
Can I, the final point that I would make is that if we just throw this back and say we're not happy with the application form, I'm concerned that you might miss the boat in terms of, for instance, what Councillor Adlam has said, which is saying that you are unhappy
Yes.
with other aspects of it, such as the windows.
Yes, we do need to say that too.
So I think both could be
Yes.
both could be
Yeah.
included
The
in
fact
your
that there's
in
no
your
windows
comments.
is a
Yes.
concern. The determination deadline is the 12th of January, so we've got a bit of time.
It's whether Cornwall Council would be happy to extend extend the consultation period.
Neighbourhood consultation expiry date is the 8th of December. And we're having a meeting on the 10th.
My worry is that if you object and
Yeah.
that you don't state the problems with the with the plans, let's forget the application form for a minute. If you don't comment on the plans,
It's not a
It
suitable...
will come back as a 5-day protocol
Yes.
that says, oh, we now have, for instance, it might come back as we now have an application form that's fine.
Yeah.
Could you?
Is it worth
and
just
we'll-
also,
Yes,
not
we-
determining it, but
I will do,
basically giving
yes,
our
I'm trying to
conclusions?
get... I'm trying to get that. I need that gavel. Yeah. Yes, and so I'm proposing that it's an uninhabitable space. It's not suitable not having any windows, and I'm sure in building regs it won't get through, but we don't discuss building regs. But I'm objecting that it's an inhabitable space.
Can we also look at the street to see if it's going to be out of sync?
It would lose...
One further along, it is even taller.
Well, it's terracing because it's going down a hill. So if it becomes 55, it loses the terracing effect going down the hill, laterally down the hill. It will be the same height as number 6. If you add 55 centimeters, oh, where are we going? If you add 55 centimeters on, it will become the same height as this here. It won't impact on the terracing backwards and forwards, but it will do laterally up and down.
What's on the opposite side of the road?
Yeah, it's steep.
It won't affect them.
No. So I think it is the quality of the space inside. It's not appropriate having a... Yeah.
I would say I could live with the increased height, but I agree with you. I think those windows are, without having windows, I don't know if there are any national standards for
No.
bedrooms.
I'm pretty...
No, it's a building control matter,
It's a building,
really,
yeah.
isn't it?
It's not ours, and I'm
It's not
sure...
if it's not a planning issue,
Well, to be honest, I'm not certain, Joanna. I would be,
Lack of light.
yeah, a lack of natural light is definitely a
And they haven't put in,
consideration.
even if lack of light, they haven't actually put in a air vent or anything like that in there.
there's no loo or anything up there.
No, it is literally a bedroom and a living room. And why are you going to have a living room upstairs in an enclosed box?
Well, I propose we object.
On all
You
of
propose.
those. Yes.
I second your
seconder?
objection.
Oh, yeah. So Sandy's seconding that.
So that's your proposal.
Yeah, no, Joanna proposed. Sandy seconded. Yes, all in objection.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm
I
going
mean,
to
particularly
draw
now,
attention
red
to
light.
I'm going to draw attention to the windows, and I'm going to point out the inconsistency between the application form, even with an amended description, the
Yeah.
application form and the plans, because they clearly don't.
They don't match. No.
In principle, we can support the height of the roof.
Well,
Well, I mean, it's sort of like why. I'm not sure why they're. I mean, it's not for us to decide if they're going to put a new roof on effectively, and do they actually give the roofing material that they're going to be using? I suppose that doesn't matter, but if they're not going to have the dormer there, because it's a very expensive thing to put a new roof on for an enclosed box of a room. Sorry, that is my view. So, there we go. All right. Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit intense. I mean, it's the trouble when things don't match up. It took a while for me to work out what was going on by looking at, so well done you for noting that as well.
I had to speak to Duncan because I didn't understand the plans.
Yeah.
It didn't have an upper elevation. I didn't realise it wasn't a dormer.
Yeah. Because it's got the plans there though that.
It's a lot more complicated than I thought. Well, listen,
Yeah. Actually, just before, can you just put that list back up again, Duncan?
This is the elevations.
The elevations, the proposed elevations. So, what is that? Is that the previous height?
Red line.
no, that looks like the garage.
Oh, that's the side of the garage. That's right. Yes.
So the top one shows the difference.
Yeah.
They
But
don't do much.
as they say, there's no east elevation.
Just see the red line there.
Yeah. But there's no east elevation. We've got north, south and west and no east. Okay, I think we've bashed that up, but, you know, I don't think we can say anything more on that, can't we? And watch the space, really, is to see what happens.
That's it, we're done.
Yeah, yeah. You're very welcome to stay for the rest if you want. I don't know if we can promise equal excitement and thrills.
I would love to, because I've been to meetings before and I found it fascinating, but I got visitors.
Oh, call that an excuse. Yes, you could fill the ring. Come on in. Yeah. Okay, thanks ever so much anyway, and take care. Cheers. Bye. No worries. Bye. Okay, so if I propose we go back to our agenda, Joe seconded, all those in favour? What? Yeah. Do we have any other public questions, any written ones?
No.
Thank goodness for that. Right, okay. Active consultations. Oh, the taxes. Let's talk taxes. Further update. Duncan.
Right, so the response that I had, because I went back to them and asked them about how they were going to manage the different tariffs to have one universal tariff, because obviously some tariffs across the county are going to go up, some tariffs are going to go down, and I asked them if they could tell us how they were going to manage that. I've been told that they aren't in a position to tell us that because they don't know the outcome of the consultation. At the moment, they're just trying to gauge whether people are happy with getting rid of the 6 zones and unifying it into one zone, or whether they're unhappy with it. So I don't think that we're going to get anything more out of Cornwall Council.
Is this one we're doing individually or sending as
Well, we can, I mean, it was suggested because of the way that the application form is structured that we could or should respond as individuals. But I'm sure that if we wrote some text and emailed it to them, I'm sure that they would take that on board as well. So we can do both, I would say.
So are we discussing this now? I mean, personally, I'm for it becoming unified across the county. But I think probably other people have different point of views. So that's why I was thinking that it would be better if it was individuals, because I'm not sure we're going to produce a unified response. Joanna?
I tend to agree with it, because my concern is very much, are they going to put the prices up? And they're telling us they can't tell us that. So
they've said that they aren't. There are going to be winners and losers.
Yeah.
There are 6 tariffs, all different, and there will be winners and losers.
I mean, it does make it simpler to have one zone, but I'm concerned that effectively, if you widen the market, then and sort of dilute the income from the summer trade, that we won't have any firms carrying on over the winter. That's my concern. But it does make sense to make it into one zone. But I think there's a real worry about sort of the way the market will work. The supply will work.
The thing is, I presume the taxi companies set their own rates as it is at the moment.
Well, they're saying that Truro is more expensive.
But who sets the rates at the moment for the different areas?
That's done through the licensing authority working with the trade.
Right.
And so
Working with the trade
that's why
of those areas, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, how it is at the moment with minicabs and sort of being able to go at taxi ranks and all of that going. Then for me, I think, and probably for an awful lot of people in the county, it's very expensive for what it is. I live 4 miles from here, and it's £25. So, and it becomes, we just don't use it. The people come down and they hire cars. It's sort of, so it makes it more money. But then there's people that it's going to be cheaper, because the most expensive area was was east and north and east of the county, from remembering what he said. So I think, you know, for a free market, for a free market economy, then, Joanna?
Propose your original suggestion, which is that we decide to make individual returns on this.
Yeah.
And I'll try and remember to do it. Because I think we're not going to
Could you
agree
resend out
to
to
everybody,
all councillors that they can make individual representations, please, that we've decided, and we'll vote on it in a minute, that, oh, well, we'll vote on it now. So Joanna's proposing that, I'll second, so all in favour of making individual representations. Yeah, so carried through at vote in planning that people make individual representations and attach the web address for us to do that. That would be great. Thank you, Duncan.
Sure. No worries.
Right, second one, call for sites for informing for the future Cornwall local plan update. So, Duncan, do you want to talk us through this one too?
Right, I think this is really an update, and I'm not as up to speed with this for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Right. Where should we start with this?
Sure, if you're doing that, can I just say for newbies, then this is call for sites for development. So there is a plan of Newquay, which is updated every year, I think, for sites with designated development, whether it's housing or industry or whatever. So this is what we just... Oh, hasn't it? Okay. I mean, last year we went through, we updated a map which was public open spaces, didn't we? That comes round. Perhaps it's not annual. But that's what this is.
Is it greenfield sites? Any sites?
They are all sites. So brownfield, greenfield. So certain sites have already been designated. So, for instance, where they're planning for the housing behind the zoo, I forgot what was that area called? Behind Atlantic. There, where people is an open field, and it had been designated as a development site for years. So people then saying, oh, but we walk our dogs on it. That's not here nor there because it's been designated as a development site years ago. So you can't then go and say, you can't build housing on it because that's where we walk our dog.
So this is the opportunity to stop it from developing now?
Well, this is opportunity for us to have signs on, you know, sort of discuss things. We're not going to stop anything, but...
So could I jump in? So we were consulted on these sites within the town boundary. They're listed and they're shown on the map here. I can't remember. It was early 2025. We made responses. Let's see if we can find that. So we responded to each one. Let's just change the view on that. So let's see. So we were asked about potential sites, and we agreed at this committee that we didn't have that level of in-depth knowledge to provide development information, development sort of details about future sites. The next question we were asked was, could these sites come forward ahead of our next neighbourhood plan? Again, we said, well, we don't really have that sort of technical knowledge, and I'd be surprised if most towns and parishes would have. So, can you flag any risks? Well, we were able to do that, and with 4 of the sites, we raised concerns around the coastline. And it says here, councillors agreed the future impact of coastal change on this section of Watergate Road needs to be fully taken into account. If we just go back, we're kind of looking at these sites over here that were closer to the coastline. Then we also raised with 3 of the sites. We noted that Cornwall Council's interactive strategic flood risk assessment map identifies these zones as being in a flood risk zone. And we highlighted the significance of surface water flood risks that exist. So yeah, so that's kind of where we were. It then went to, I can't remember the name of the meeting, it was a very important sounding meeting at Cornwall Council, and they are, at the moment, they are now kind of feeding back to us as to what was decided at that meeting. Now, it's a huge spreadsheet. Oh my God, it just had all these sites. It was an absolutely enormous spreadsheet. So I went through it and I picked out what they've said about the sites that we just saw listed on that map. And they've rated them. They haven't turned any of them down at all. But the feedback is basically that most of these are on their draft residential location score have been given the green light. One of them has an amber light, which is the Newquay Bay Resort on Trafalgar Road, the land by there, and then the rest of the draft residential suitability. So the first one was location. The next one, suitability. They've thinned it down a bit in terms of the green light, and it says things like parish council, or a town council actually. Parish council raised concerns around coastal change at the section of Watergate. For Newquay Bay Resort, parish council have highlighted flood risk. And the visual impact mentioned in the submission, coastal change referred to by the town council. So that's the feedback basically on what we submitted. And they've done this for the whole of the county, for every town, city and parish council. Yeah, and so they've then done a viability score, and it seems that well, it says draft residential achievability. They've got green for all of those. It seems to me like most of these sites are looking as if the Cornwall Council think that they are suitable for development. They're now asking us for even larger sites. So, in their call for sites, they're talking about really big ones. So they reference one in Saltash, 1,000 homes. They reference Nansledham, 4,000 homes. So they're asking us if we'd like to put forward any sites that we could think that would have sort of between 1,000 and 4,000 houses on them. That's basically it, and they'd like us to get back to them by the 30th of January. I mean, last time we said we didn't have the technical knowledge to be able to do this, but we did flag some of the problems with some of the sites. So, you know, there's no kind of rush or anything, but
For sites again, so has the list changed at all?
I think that they're just updating us on the feedback and their view on the feedback, and then they're continuing to welcome new sites. So if we've got any other small sites that we could come up with, we couldn't come up with any last time, and now there's a call for large sites.
So for the two that we felt were too near the cliff, have they now gone into this extended the exclusion zone, because it's got bigger by about 20 metres, hasn't it?
I haven't looked at that. I've not looked again. There we go. There's the table.
So which are the ones we've said are too near the cliff?
Yeah, I think it's these ones, the Trafalgar Road ones. So it's the top one, the next one, the top 3, the top 4, top 5, in fact.
So is Newquay Bay Resort, is that the campsite at the bottom of the hill?
I think they're all right because they're the other side of the road. I think if they had been on the roads.
And I'm writing the flood emergency plan. Yeah, because the businesses behind are flooded, and Ansell, for instance, before it became Ansell, they've had it flooded. Will flood. Sorry, I need to look at Google.
My take on this is that they've looked at all of them. They have taken on board some of the comments that we made, but when it comes down to it, they've decided that within 5 to 10 years, all of the sites that they'd consulted us on, many of which we'd raised concerns about, they think that they could be developed. Most of them are residential. 2 of them are non-residential. That's worth bearing in mind.
Isn't the one at the bottom on the beach. It's along on the back road going by St Francis Dogho there on the left. We've actually seen planning permission come in, haven't we, from the houses on a small estate. Can you remember 9 houses on a small estate on one of these Trevelyan parcels of land already? But they're basically on the slope. When you turn off and you're heading towards...
Well, I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the chart, and it looks like the blue, whatever that is heading down Trevelyan Road, and I don't think that's too near the cliff. Because I think if it had been on the other side, we might have been worried about it.
Well, so the point is that it pushes traffic onto that road. The buildings themselves are okay. But
I'd point out that you're not being reconsulted on what we've already responded to. They're just effectively, I think this spreadsheet, which I've sort of doctored, effectively shows that it's been through the Cornwall Council meet mincer, and this is what's come out of the other end, and they're now telling us that. And what they are asking from us is, have you got any bigger bits of land that we can...
It's not up to us to identify bigger bits.
No, and I can't think of anything, sorry, to take 1,000 houses. No, it's ridiculous. Because, I mean, most of that land, that they're now building on is going into Cowan Parish. So, they've already got Nant's Level, and I think that's far enough.
Well, the only other site, which I assume they've got, is the station site, which we talked about. We talked about today, and they're talking about making that, originally it was 150, and they're talking about making it denser, which Sarah and I were quite happy with. So
but nowhere near, it wasn't up to 1,000 though.
No, it's 500.
Yeah, and that was sort of, go on Karen.
Can I just clarify? So Cornwall Council are sending us this document to say these areas of land have been earmarked for housing development.
Yeah.
And they want our opinion. We give our opinion, and then they completely ignore it and give it the green light anyway.
I don't think they've completely ignored it. I think that they have considered it all.
Everything the green light.
They have considered it all, and they have decided, and they have come to a conclusion.
So is this
they haven't
land actually
ignored
been
it.
purchased by developers, or is it?
No.
So it's just earmarked for developers to take an interest in.
It's sort of like because I mean we've still got a business on that, on the one that's got a campsite, isn't it? It's not.
Is it still needs planning permission then, a developer? Would they?
So but what they're asking for though is, do we know of any sites from 1 to 4,000 housing? No, we do not.
No.
So I propose that we do not.
We just don't have to respond.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, no, I think we do.
They aren't. So they aren't asking us to say. I don't think they're asking us to say yes or no. I think they're asking us to say, if you've got any, then let us know.
Okay, so no, we don't. No, right, okay. So no response there then. Thank you, Duncan. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit disappointing, especially the ones in the flood risk zone. that they've just, oh well, maybe they can do things to make sure.
Well, especially, I mean, if Whipsey goes, they need to do a new road route going through the houses and up round there. So
yeah, someone was saying that to me today. It's going to cost them a fortune to do that.
Yeah, that sort of those. So all those, like sea space and everything, all those houses there on the north side of Porth are going to be onto the west side of a road that's going to go round at some point.
I'll just I said draw a line under it, just to totally clarify. The letter ends. We do not envisage that there will be many opportunities for this scale of development. However, if you are aware of any sites in your area with landowners who may be interested in making a submission to us of this nature, we'd be grateful if you could forward them our call for sites webpage, which contains further details. Large submissions received by the 30th of January will be reviewed in 2026. I mean, this really was an update with a, oh, by the way, if you know of anywhere else, it's huge.
They were trying to kill two birds with one stone there, really, weren't they? I think
so
the bird's already dead in the road.
We just don't need to do anything with that, do we?
Yeah, it'd be nice if they're going, oh, can you identify new sites for some infrastructure? But no, we don't get that, do we? Right, to discuss and make any decisions on licensing applications, number 8. So we've got the Station Cafe. They've put in for a licence.
This is obviously a slightly out-of-date photo because it's not Donna's Cafe now. It's been taken over by the Salted Surf Collective. In the description, they've said the Station Cafe is a small cafe on the station. We are doing a refit in mid-November. We'll have 8 tables inside. 4 seats and 4 2 seats. I don't know what that means. It has a small kitchen and bar area inside, and the seating area is around 3.6 by 8 metres. There is an external seating area which we can't really see here. You can see the picnic benches are lined up against the building there. There is an external seating area that runs from the front of the building. So, in terms of licensable activities, they want to do the retail supply of alcohol for consumption on and off the premises. They want to have the permission to be able to screen films inside. They want to they've applied for recorded music. They don't need to do this. We intend to operate with a small speaker system or Bluetooth while playing some light casual background music. That is incidental. That's not the reason that people will go there. They don't actually need to apply for that, but it's a common mistake that people make. And they've got live music, which they do need to apply for. And they have said that they would like music in both indoors and outside. I'll just go through, there's a lot of text on this, but I'll just go through the live music. Designed to enhance the atmosphere rather than operate as a late night entertainment venue, performances will include acoustic artists, small duos and local performers. Music will typically be at a low to moderate volume, appropriate for a relaxed cafe environment. Indoor performances will take place within the main seating area. There will be no stage, just acoustic, slightly amplified sets. We aim to create a new music venue that will allow local and talented musicians to perform. I mean, music inside is one thing, music outside is another thing, because obviously that can impact residential areas. We did have a problem with the one they wanted to do it out on Tom Thumb, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I think that
outside as well, wasn't it?
No, yeah, but the films are indoors for this. Yeah. I've been in touch with this civilian police licensing officer. She's quite happy with it from a crime and disorder point of view. She did submit a representation which improves some of the Annex 2 conditions. just makes them a bit more robust. CCTV, people wandering around with drinks, etc. Leaving the premises with a glass of beer in their hand, that kind of thing. But other than that, from a crime and disorder point of view, she's quite happy. So my qualified view is that the key issue is the live music, and whether you're happy to have somebody playing, Carlos Santana sitting outside on a picnic bench
Can I just go in there? Yeah, I've got no qualms with licensing for that, and films and things and inside. I do have a bit of a quandary with the live performance outside, because you can imagine that happening when everybody's arriving at Boardmasters. So I'm not sure that whether we can put stipulations on this. So if you've got a big train coming in and you've got a big group of people outside listening to music, I can see there's a bit of a class of user groups here, and that it might be a bit chaotic, but it is opposite the police station, so I'm not worried about riots breaking out. But I'm just sort of like, it's going to be a bit cluttered, but that could be somebody else's problem to manage. And obviously, if it is a problem, then licensing there'll be complaints about it.
My concern is the people opposite in the flats and that.
Yeah, and there's people
because they're not that far away.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah.
I'm not really certain.
Well, there or people living opposite.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
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 And I mean,
they're saying that it's going to be quiet, but if you're giving licensing, it's just it's just hearsay, isn't it? So
I mean, once
the
they've got the
operating schedule in
licence, you
terms of
don't know what's
times.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So is it just replacing another business?
No. They just want licensing for.
They're already in there.
Yeah.
They're already operating what I believe is a successful cafe, but they would like to do more stuff.
Yeah.
So there are.
So what are the hours that they've got then?
So the opening hours they are
for
looking
the music
at,
performance.
Right. So for the music performance, there are some seasonal variations, but just bear with. Monday to Thursday, midday till 9:30. Friday to Saturday, midday till 10. Sundays, midday till 9. They then go on to say no outdoor music after 8 o'clock between October and May. All events will be supervised by trained staff. Sound levels will be monitored throughout. The venue will fully comply with GWR station policies, local authority guidance and any licensing conditions set by Cornwall Council. I don't know what Public Protection have had to say about this. The one that I can think of that's perhaps most similar would be when Project 83, once they got their licence, they then wanted to vary the licence to have music outside. We raised concerns because of the
neighbours,
because of the proximity of a lot of neighbouring properties, Jubilee Street, etc. And Public Protection got involved, and whilst they can play music outside, there were a lot of acoustic mitigations that were put in place. That's the most similar one that I can think of sort of in recent time. Outdoor music near residential dwellings.
Can we specify that it's acoustic, not amplified?
You did say something about that, didn't you?
Yeah, he said it was going to be
Performances
acoustic.
will include acoustic artists, small
Yeah.
duos and local performers. Music will typically be at a low to moderate volume. I mean, that's the kind of thing that Public Protection would say, right, this needs to...
Yeah.
I would expect that that's the type of thing that they would, would say.
I don't have, considering the volume of music that they were playing at the back of steamers when we were there in the summer, when you couldn't actually hold a conversation, I think if it got to those levels, then other people would get involved and would comment. Joanna?
I was just going to propose no representation. I don't think we've got any problems there.
Yeah, go on, Karen.
I just had a question about the sale of alcohol though. Did you say they want to sell?
Plenty of pubs. There's
off
plenty
licence?
of pubs at railway stations.
Okay.
Plenty of pubs at railway stations. Truro has a bar and
I
things.
just wondered if there was any
safety
are
aspect
people
of
allowed
people
to
falling off the platform.
take alcohol onto the trains if there's been some?
As I said, yes, you can. You can take alcohol in train because you can take your own.
So any alcohol that was sold for consumption off the premises would be in a sealed container.
Containers. Yeah, which is
So
standard.
they wouldn't be able to buy a glass of beer or even an open bottle of beer and then hop onto the train. But in the same way that you could go and buy a bottle of wine from Asda and jump on the train and drink it, you could here.
I didn't think it was particularly residential around there, but
no, there are. There's quite a lot of
might be
flats. So I'm happy to and I'm happy to second that. All those in favour of no representation? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Right. Decisions. Previous planning. What sort of?
Right, we don't have any 5-day protocols or non-material amendments that we've got to ratify. We have two live ones, Trebarwith Crescent and St Anne's Road. Can I just say that the email that goes out says, if you're going to maintain your objection, please give your strong planning reasons. I haven't got, certainly for Trebarwith Crescent, I know you're concerned about a precedent, but I haven't got any, that's not a material planning consideration. I need really, Cornwall Council would expect more. Otherwise it will just, it will just carry no weight.
Joanna, you know the neighbourhood plan best, much more than I do. Is there anything about quality of holiday accommodation in the neighbourhood plan?
It's what they're doing is they're putting something in the back garden.
It's already there. They want to do it.
It's a retrospective application.
Yeah, we've not had any complaints. So I would say, the trouble is we can't at this stage go no objection. We either support the officer or agree to disagree. I think we agree to disagree with us.
Well, everyone's come back with objections so far because we're concerned about it being a precedent.
Because it's in my area. They haven't consulted. If you want to all object, I won't respond to this one. And I'll see what the officer says to me.
I mean, what we're all concerned with is going to set a precedent that everyone at the bottom of those gardens is going to put a holiday accommodation. Yes, it does, because it's really poor quality and it's not helping Newquay become a quality holiday resort.
I will wait to hear, if you're going to put an objection in, do, and the officer will contact me and then I'll talk with him. I can't guarantee to support your objection.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee to call it into committee. I'm keeping an open mind on this one.
And that's fine. It's just that I am concerned. I mean, we've got the one on.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
With that. I don't have a problem with that. I can't guarantee how once I've spoken to the officer, because your objections will go in and he'll say, no, not material planning, or he'll say it is material planning.
Yeah.
So I deliberately haven't responded on that one.
I mean, is it the case that we are just maintaining the position that we took when we objected in the first place?
Yeah.
Did we object on grounds that were defensible? Did we have provided a robust?
Well, the officer obviously recommending approval thinks not.
Why he doesn't agree with what we said. If you've all replied objection, then go.
Yeah.
It's an odd process, you don't mind saying, because by saying when it comes into the chamber for us to discuss, we'll provide a reason why we object. The officer will then say we think it's okay, and then we have to say why we object. But we've already said it.
The officer will say the reasons for this as well, and sometimes they are. I mean, a good example is that one that I should have been a little more alert to not long ago on Hillgrove Road, where we were looking at an application that looked as if it was going to make a completely unsymmetrical house. But in actual fact, earlier in the year, we'd looked at one, the other side of the semi-detached, that was, that was having the same level of ridge height rising and dormers putting on, and so once both are done, you will have a beautifully symmetrical house, you know, and the officer will come back and sort of kind of point these things out to us. I mean, the concern about the standard of accommodation, and I have seen them come back with this in the past when we've been worried about it, is that they say people will make a decision when they're planning to come down here. It's not as if they're expecting to walk into the Ritz and they're in a garden shed. They make that decision when they book the accommodation. That's the officer's argument. I don't necessarily agree with that at all, but that's the officer's argument.
The other scenario as well, short-term lets, the noise factor. Neighbours being disturbed.
No, that was right as well. In this instance, it's a retrospective application, so they're already doing this. There haven't been any noise complaints, and there haven't been to date any noise complaints, and the fact that the main dwelling house is a matter of metres away from it, I mean, the people who are living in the main dwelling house probably wouldn't be very happy if there was lots of noise coming from there. So in a way, that sort of polices itself. That's one point of view.
I'm still worried, though, that neighbours are going to think, oh, and there are going to be a whole row of sheds with no parking and holiday lets.
I will go back to them and say we are concerned about a precedent and a proliferation of such thing. Yeah. The point I wanted to make is that I need kind of like strong planning reasons for these things. This is a little bit watery, and thus it will carry little weight when it arrives at Cornwall Council.
The area does have holiday accommodation already. I mean, it is residential, but there is holiday accommodation, so you can't really claim it's introducing holiday accommodation in a residential area. You could look at the parking in the sense that there isn't adequate parking already.
Yeah. I mean,
they have explained away the parking as,
because it's in the middle of town.
It's rotten anyway, so that's more or less what he said.
I think what they've said is that it was already being used for family members and non-paying guests. So by changing it to holiday accommodation, it's not going to add. It's just going to be different people in different cars, but there's already been people in cars there staying in the. But I think it's just holiday accommodation, because it wasn't holiday accommodation to start with. What they're saying is it's already been working, and so the argument that this is going to add to parking pressures. Well, it isn't, because those parking pressures are already in place anyway. That isn't going to change, is what they're saying.
There is a size element to this, and it's then no longer an annex, is it? So was there an annex agreement on this? I don't know. I don't know if there was. And in terms of the next thing we're going to know is, and who's policing this, that they're not then doing it as a permanent let. So, well, I don't see any merits in it. I'm sorry.
Well,
it is a garden shed.
We don't want this because we think this might have. We think they're lying to us. That's not really a way that we can handle planning applications.
It's a temporary building.
Well, look, put your objection in.
Yeah. I'll just return what you say.
I will listen to what the officer says to me.
Yeah.
And my point was, I will go back with whatever you say. It's just that you weren't really saying much.
Well, look, the point that the officer's made in bullet point 3, their response is as follows. The accommodation is considered to provide sufficient space when considered against the standard of amenity for this type of short-term accommodation. And it goes on. Well, that's what they consider, but we don't consider that. Yeah. We have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been glamping in, nicer looking buildings that have probably got less space than that. It isn't unheard of. I think the officer was saying it isn't unheard of that you have such a small building.
The accommodation is what it is, and if paying guests don't want it, they will go elsewhere. But the point is that if you are in a town where accommodation is at a premium, then if there's no alternatives, then people will pay begrudgingly the going rate to stay in a hovel. And actually, to say the words, the accommodation is considered to provide sufficient space, that is not, for me, that is an opinion. We have an opinion, and they have an opinion, and we differ.
I would say that if anybody's got any ideas of any new neighbourhood plan policies that they'd like to write around accommodation, it might be worth starting to think about that now.
Yeah, I need to make a mental note of that, Joanna, in terms of sheds at bottom of gardens.
I don't know if there's any precedents for that kind of policy around plans, but...
Well, it's the quality of holiday, because it's the reputation of Newquay. It's not just that, people can, there's always going to be a market for
I think we're spending an awful lot of time on this, whereas you want to object, so object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this, we're voting on, well, we're not even voting on this because it's not up on this one, is we? So, yeah. Okay, right. Right, 10. So, planning applications. So,
there's another one, other matters.
Oh. Well,
Trees.
that's not, I haven't got that down here. And I'm looking at the website.
Right. Can I update you on the work to the protected trees? From James Gregory, tree officer. This is what you asked me to at the last meeting. I've been to the site a few times since the damage was discovered. Sadly, feedback I've received from our enforcement department is that without any direct evidence or witness after speaking to enforcement, there is not enough to progress with an enforcement case. In my comments, I have recommended replacement species to planted and requested the TPO is amended to reflect the new species and that the protection area is left in place to allow for good establishment of new trees. Basically, we'd strongly said about the legal case for pursuing the prosecution. They're saying they haven't got any evidence as to be able to pin it on somebody.
Joanna?
I was looking at this today, and when you look at, I don't know, can you explain to me why there are two applications, first of all?
No idea.
So they should have withdrawn one. Anyway,
I thought that they were going to withdraw one before we met, but I've never got an update.
It's not 6 trees, because I've got Warren asking me, but it's 3 trees. It's effectively, when you look at what they've done, and they've shown the 3 effective trees, what their own expert says is this is not the responsibility of the current owner. This was done before they took possession.
Up to 3 years ago, apparently.
So the prosecution's up to, it's...
So there's no one to prosecute because you've got no idea who has done it.
So I asked the question and that's the response.
So the answer is that I went back to Warren and said I fully support your ambitious, but if they can't prove who did it, and that appears to be where we are. And it's really sad because the damage to me doesn't look extensive, but everybody's saying it's effectively killed the tree.
If you ring the bark, it can't circulate properly.
Actually, it's not 3 years ago, not according to the 2 tree specialists.
No, it says 2 to 3 years ago.
No, it's not even that. The tree specialist says this happened since his visit in 22. And when did we put the TPO on? Because the tree officer is saying it was after we put the TPO on. So has he changed his mind? Is he now saying it was before we had to put the TPO on?
I don't know. 22 was 3 years ago, so I'm not certain of the dates.
Well, then it's
the feedback is that they haven't got anybody or evidence that they can pin this on. I asked the question, and that's why I got back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Owners have had that land for more than 3 years. So if the tree officer is saying that the trees were cut down within the last 3 years, it's got to be the current owners, hasn't it? How much more evidence do you need?
Well, the statement of their tree officer says that this is after his visit in 22, but before. He says very clearly it's before the current owner took possession. Now I don't know who is the current officer. Why, when that is what...
I mean,
You can't make Cornwall Council...
no,
You can't make Cornwall Council prosecute. I totally support
Yeah.
that someone should be prosecuted for this. Apparently it's a chainsaw.
yeah, changed gone
Absolutely
round.
deliberate. And
Yeah.
someone who knew what they were doing, because
Yeah.
they knew by
Yeah.
doing that they could destroy the trees.
Yeah.
Well, we should do, but we have no idea who it is. And that's
But
really
nobody's
sad.
making any effort to actually look into it, are they? But I mean, they have been. I mean, those photographs we saw, then the digger activity had been up to the trees. So those GPRs, they are protected. Their roots are systems are protected as well, and that is with the current developer. So they are, you know, obviously some people it seems that couldn't be bothered with the hassle. Really, when it comes down to it, that they just don't want to bother doing it. So I think that's just a shame. Really, that Cornwall Council is taking that stance, and really it is open season on trees, because nobody, unless you actually video somebody doing it, it sounds like they're not going to count any evidence as evidence of, or somebody to prosecute.
It makes sense to me that the current owner owns that land and the trees were chopped after they own that land, and then it's got with them.
Sorry, you haven't got... I totally agree with you, but you haven't got the evidence to prove it.
How
You
much
really
more
see it.
evidence do you need?
You need more than that, because nobody knows when the damage was done. The tree
Anyway.
officer could have been wrong when he said he thought it was done after the TPO went in.
So that's just disappointing.
And it could have been somebody
isn't
else
it?
with a chainsaw. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that's the law.
Unlikely, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so back onto this. Right, 10 then. Planning applications, list 1. Recommendations for... so we've got, for our list 1s that we looked at, we're recommending for PA 25/08014, PA 25/0 slash 08490, and PA 25/08401. Do we want to read them out on there as well? Do I want to read them out on there as well? No, no.
And read them out. Read out our responses.
Yeah,
Presumably councillors have had opportunity to do that, to look at them.
to read
I
them.
think just for the benefit of people
Online.
watching is to just say,
Yeah.
these are the applications,
Yeah.
and this is why we didn't think it's simple.
So
to-
application PA 25/08014 was 3 Tredow Road, single-storey flat roof extension to create a new bedroom and ensuite on front elevation. We supported with this. Our responses in line with policy H1 of the Newquay Neighbourhood Plan, replacement dwellings. Council agreed to support this application. The scale, design and proposed materials are considered and in keeping with the existing street scene. And it was felt unlikely the proposal would result in unreasonable levels of overshadowing or loss of privacy to neighbouring properties. The plot size was large enough to accommodate an extension. And we encourage then, when they do the development, to be in line with our G2 policy with climate change. So with high levels of sustainability and energy resources, rainwater harvesting, etc. Application 6 was PA 25/08498, 21 Wheatfield Crescent, single-storey rear ground floor extension into garden. We had no objection to this either. Again, very similar to what I've just said. The plot was large enough to accommodate the proposed extension, leaving adequate amenity space. The scale and design materials are considered in keeping. There was no unreasonable levels of overbearing, overshadowing, or loss of privacy. Joanna, yeah.
The question is
Yeah, go
why you've no objection to this one, where the others you're supporting.
Could I answer that?
Yes?
Subject to confirmation from the officer that there will be no unreasonable levels of overbearing, overshadowing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
one is subject to,
Yeah.
We're like 90% certain.
Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah.
And then application 7PA25/08401, 75 Trevine Way. Again, it was a single-storey glass roof located at the rear elevation of the property. We looked at this one, and again, it's just putting a glass roof over like a pergola.
Yeah.
For memory, and we didn't have any. I'm surprised they actually needed planning for it, but there we go. So yeah, supported on that one as well. So with rain harvesting if possible and things. So I'm quite happy to propose that there's no objections and things. Well, with what we've just said. With that, Sandy's seconding. Oh, I'm frazzled. All those in favour, thank you. Yeah. God. Right. Right. 10. List. Yeah.
Do you want me to do a couple of them? We'll come to yours. Or you've got the first two on the list.
No, I'm
happy
okay. I'm okay. So list 2. Sorry, it takes the time with going through the problem with going through the website for this is that you're going up and down and backwards and forwards because the boxes aren't very big. Right, I'm presenting application 2, PA25/08275, ebb tide 37 Trevine Way. Extensions and alterations including additional storey and rear extension. So that's why we're discussing that, because it's got a whole new level, making it a 3-storey dwelling. So if we can just have a look at the location and block plan, I can... Here we go. So we're out at on Pentar again. And it's this one. So we see we've got quite a lot of room at the front and the back. Okay. Yeah. And then if we look at the proposed location and block plan, actually if I moved it on this side, that'd be better. So, so we've got a bit of an extension at the back here, and the dotted line represents sort of like extension, sort of like for a patio area, and we can see then they're putting solar panels on the roof, and I think this on here at the front, and then. What have I got? If we have a look at the street view, so this is it at the moment. So you can see that we've got the garage, and it's sort of like a split level house, so 2-storey. Bear in mind, sort of like the height from the neighbour, and we've got windows here, and then with the bungalow effectively with the dormer on the other side. So if you have a look at the existing floor plans, ground +1. So at the moment it's 2-storey, so there's the garage coming up here, and they've got their utility room, and then they've got upstairs, so it's inverse house, so they can get the view over the Ganor effectively. So living space upstairs, and there's a conservatory at the back, which is going to be replaced. So then if we have a look then at the proposed floor plans, this is your ground floor. Then this is the first floor, and you can see the dotted lines, the walls that are going to be taken out. So the conservatory is going. That was the conservatory in that little dotted space there. So they're making the dining space here into the lounge onto the width, along here, and sitting room, living room area here. They're expanding out the front here as well, which isn't really shown on the block plan, but I think that's right. And then if you scroll down, there's a whole... Okay, then if we can have a look at the next proposed level 2, please, Duncan. There's a whole new floor going in. With a bedroom, a study, and this large loft void, which is a bit odd. And that's the roof of the extension. So they're not doing a 2-story extension, they're doing a 1-story extension. So this window is then overlooking that. But the study has a window on this side as well. So we've got a new view being created here. So if we can have at the existing elevations, this is where the biggest contrast is going to be. So that's your existing elevation at the moment with the garage and the balcony and everything in the front and the sliding door and everything, the conservatory at the back. Then if we can have a look at the proposed elevation. Yes, you get a note. Even Joe raised his eyebrows there.
You have to wake the dead.
They are putting in a new floor, basically, and making it a cube space.
Is it a ridge height change?
Yeah, see, so if you can you enlarge it, you can see the old ridge line there. And so there is an increase in the ridge height as well. The window at the side is a small window. So probably not worried about that. That is so there's necessarily no new windows on that. But for the neighbours then, that's going to be their outlook.
Yeah.
Which is quite an increase in mass. And then this is actually quite an increase in mass. So if we which is sort of what I've got concerns over, is the increase in bulk and raising the roof, and then the outlook on for people, particularly on the west, is it at the northwest of the side of the property? Listen. Oh well, they never say, do they? I mean, it's just. It's probably not that much, probably, I don't know, 60 centimetres.
It doesn't look a huge amount. It's because they've squared it off where there's a nice pointy roof.
And there isn't, this is going to be, as far as I can make out, then driving up and if, I've said on this about looking at the satellite image, and there's no problem with views from the back or that aspect. But if you drive up and down the road, if we do a drive, then it's going to be setting a precedent that we've got creating a 3-story building and a block. So it is looking at that is going to be.
Is that because it's on a level? It's on levels?
Yeah, it's on a slope.
They're all pretty different, the houses. Sorry, can we look at that one again? Just that picture.
Yeah.
So is there anything behind it?
No, there isn't. It's quite a long distance away from. Is it Penmere Drive?
It's quite steep, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not an issue with
And it's going up
losing
a little
terracing.
bit higher, so it will be out of sync with its neighbours.
But if we just look down the road, there's nothing square like that at all. And there is.
This is a 2020 image. I'll just
Yeah, at this
Not
moment.
very funny shape.
Yeah.
Sizes down there.
And if we can look at that thing, that is if we just keep twirling around it, see, but those now are going to have quite a solid side on this side, whereas they're still going to have like an apex end of the roof on that side. That is going to be their outlook.
Which is the southeast elevation, or?
Yeah.
So southwest is the front.
It would be this one here. They will be looking at this.
Yes, they're going to be looking at that.
Looking at
there.
this boxy elevation here.
Yeah.
From those two windows.
And because it's a vertical as opposed to it used to be pitched, you know, that is quite an increased mass around the old roof shape there. that I have a concern about. And as to whether that's going to cause more shading as well onto those two windows.
So the one it's affecting is number 35.
I definitely think there's a light problem.
I think there's going to be a light problem.
Definitely.
Well, I think it's going to be a case of maybe the officer checking that. I mean, how do we feel about having...
Look at the street scene again to see what, if there's any windows on that side. Oh, it's got those
Yeah.
funny, it's a funny shape, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, it has quite a high boundary, but of course, by having this extra story here, then that's actually going to cause, I think, potentially new views overlooking into their garden as well at the front. At the back, it's got windows as well, and that could have overlooking consequences as well into the back garden, the neighbouring back garden at number 35. I don't think the other neighbour I don't think it's impacting on the neighbour on the other
we've
side.
got an increase in scale of mass, that's what we're worried about that, aren't we? I personally think that it is out of character with
Yeah.
the neighbourhood, even though there are some varied properties, but they all are, I don't know, it just looks different to the neighbouring properties. Probably the easiest way.
So,
It's quite overbearing, isn't it?
yeah.
Overbearing is the word.
Yeah. So, I mean, it will come back as 5-day protocol if it's going to be considered otherwise, isn't it? So, I'm quite happy to propose an objection on this one with what we've listed so far, Duncan, with concerns for the neighbouring property, particularly the one to, yeah, number 35, and the increased mass impact that it has and its overbearing nature on the street scene as well. Is that okay? And overlooking?
I've got 5
you've
points
got
there to
overlooking on
base
that,
an objection on.
Okay.
Are we going to vote?
Yeah. So seconder. Sandy second. Favour? It's fine. Abstaining? Yeah, and Joanna's abstaining. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no. Get your twitchiness involved with that one. This one. So as with earlier, this one posed interesting. Honestly, these things look so simple when I pick them and like, ugh. Right, application 3, PA 25/07714, 5 Porth Parade, construction of a new attached garage, a part 2-storey, part single-storey rear extension, and construction of roof dormers to facilitate a loft conversion. Now, so unusually, what happened with this is that if you look at your pack of stuff that we've got, Public Rights of Way team have put in an objection because the plan's wrong and that they're wanting to see a new plan. So Ramblers don't have an issue. So we haven't really come across this before. So what we're doing is we're going to discuss it, taking account of Public Rights of Way, that they'll need to put in new correct plans. And it's just showing where the public right of way is. So, but obviously they had their...
I can quickly clarify that if you want.
Very, very quickly,
Because
Duncan.
you and I know what it means, but not everybody will. This green line at the top here, that has been indicated as the public right of way. It isn't there. No. It is, in fact, the purple. So it's not running along this right way here. It's running behind it. So I just picked that up from the Cornwall Council map for you.
Yeah.
So that's the error that they've made. They've put the
Put it in the wrong place.
public right of way up here, and it's actually down the bottom here. Obviously,
Who did that? Was that
the applicant
Yeah,
and the
good.
PRO team have picked it up, but we now know where the line is. So
So hey ho. Right. Anyway, So if we can have a look at the location. So there's the location plan. So quite handily, they've put on here in the red around the building is where the extension is going to be. So the second story on top, and the rear extension at the back, and then they're extending as well and connecting the garage. So, but most of what's going on is behind, but it will change how it looks at the front, and we'll get to that in a minute. Right, so if we can have then a street scene, we can see that they're all bungalows. Yep. There we go. So this is the one we're looking at here. Not, unfortunately, this ramshackle neighbour. This is the one we're looking for, and you can see that it's got a gate between the building and the garage, so that will be filled in. They'll be lost. But if you can just turn it round sideways slowly, they are all bungalows, not a dormer in sight. And keep going all the way round.
So this is an old picture. It's 2009 picture, so things might have changed.
Because it's
yeah.
What happened in the view from behind.
Yeah. So, well, the neighbouring property is too far away to worry about that. Okay, yeah. But we've got the terracing again going down the hill with the contours effectively. So, and we've got then the terracing, from behind and below, but it's a long way behind because remember from what we've just seen as the plan. Can you just put the plan back up, Duncan? You see that it's got a huge garden, and then it's got the road, and then you've got.
Perhaps you do have an issue in that case.
So, as you can see, there is a long strip of garden, then there's the road, and then you're going to have more properties along here. So by extending upwards a bit, it's not going to impact really on the terracing effect going down striking down the hill, so perpendicular this way. What it will do is, though, impact on the terracing effect that way, which we've discerned before that isn't necessarily an issue. Right, existing floor plan. So there we have the separate garage. We've got the little gate, which would be here. We've got the steps going up to access the back, little conservatory at the back. Existing tree. It looks quite fantasy like that in that, doesn't it? It looks like mistletoe. So 3 bedrooms, very small dining and living space. Then if we can have a look at the proposed, it's a lot bigger. It is a huge increase. So we're increasing. Can you enlarge it, Duncan? And then we'll look downstairs first. That's upstairs. That's it. Tar. So it's still keeping this layout. Those 3 bedrooms are exactly the same. We've got a living room, but it's knocking through the wall and getting rid of that little sort of like conservatory space, making a really big living, kitchen, dining area here, and it's got the island and things, connecting then to the garage, so effectively putting a new garage in, which will have steps in it to also access the extension that they're putting at the back with a shower, toilet and utility room. This is just downstairs. And then if you can scroll it upwards, so you can see that the extension at the back will have then an apex roof, also with Velux windows in the sky, in the roof, in the roof, and this is going to be a flat roof then extension where that shower and utility room is going to be. And then they're putting in 2 more bedrooms en suite upstairs with these 2 dormers and the staircase, and then creating a mezzanine office and another dormer then over the garage. So making it quite a large house. So the existing elevations are there. There it is, small bungalow, which we saw in the photograph. And then if we look at then the proposed.
So they're definitely putting something over the garage.
Yeah.
Are they increasing the height of the roof, or are they just putting windows in?
I don't think they are. They haven't.
Not
They
clear, is
don't
it?
indicate. No, they don't indicate.
No, because it looks like it's the
So I
same.
think you have to assume that they are.
Yeah.
Which I say
Yeah,
so.
but of course this is going to be totally new.
Yeah, that is
The roof
definitely
over the
increased.
garage is going to be new, and it's going to be smaller than the ridge height. So I presume why they're not matching it to the ridge height, though, I'm not, to go straight across and keep that bungalow look with dormers. It's so the back garden, they've got all the windows there as well, and with sliding doors into the garden, and that doesn't really impact on anybody, I don't think. Whether this extension is going to impact on the bungalow to its right, which is quite run down and dilapidated.
It was in 2022. It might could be
Yeah.
fairly smart now.
Quite close, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter the state of it. It's like, so I don't know if can we have a look at the street view again, Duncan, to see if they've got any windows on that side. If we drive up and turn round. No, it's got an ivy. It might have.
Joanna said this one has been tidied, because this is an old picture, this is 2009, it has been tidied up a lot, hasn't it, I believe? Well, if it hasn't been, I suspect that it would have collapsed.
But
by now.
it's going to give the impression, almost, because they're going up there, because there's no real gap between the garage and the neighbour,
That was
of
my
being
next
one
question, is the garage
continued.
on the boundary.
The garage is on the boundary.
Do you think that's why that over the garage bit doesn't meet here, because it's actually being built at that ridge height?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's just a... Sorry, I should shut up really, but
No,
it's
I
just
think
a thought.
that is a
Yeah.
good theory.
Can we go
Yeah.
back and have a look at the red line to see if it comes up to the boundary, the building, the garage?
The
Block plan.
block plans.
Yeah,
Post block
there you go. So the red line does come right to the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it possible to zoom in on that? So we have a-
Yeah, sure.
Because there's no, there'll be no ability to maintain the
Side of the.
side of the house.
Yeah,
will there?
or the access for it. Yeah.
But that's not a thing we have to consider. That's
No.
that's a sort of civil matter,
Yeah.
because they would need access from their neighbour.
Yeah.
So what exactly do the red lines indicate there? Is that
So
extra?
that's the outline of the dormer
Right.
upstairs. So it has no upstairs at the moment. And then that's the outline of the new, effectively, garage, which is changing site,
Going right on to the
and it's
perimeter.
going, and it's going along. Well, I mean, at the moment the garage is there right up to the perimeter, but by making it 2-storey,
Shutting it right up.
it's going to, yeah. I mean, we don't know if there's a window here or not. So,
Well, we could ask that question.
yeah. But in terms of impacting the street scene, you see, it's going to give the impression that it's merging into one great big long terrace. It does change the street scene a
Yeah.
lot by having those dormers on there and setting that precedent. But it's whether, and you know what my bugbear is, we're losing another bungalow.
It'd be nice to know about the ridge height as well.
Yeah.
And of course, President opens it for everybody else to do it.
So all those little lovely bungalows are going to be lost potentially.
But this is definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Karen.
I don't particularly have a problem with the dormers actually, but
Yeah.
or the extension out the back, but it is just altering, it's filling in that gap there above the garage. I have a problem with that. I think if they're going into the roof space of the bungalow and putting dormers on, the height of the property won't be increased by that much. But I do have a problem with the garage extension.
Yeah, I think in contrast to what it could be, they're not proposing one huge dormer that spans the entirety of the room.
No,
So
no.
there is some modesty in it, but I
Yeah.
have to admit, I don't like the infill. I think that is potentially problematic.
Yeah, I mean, for me, they would have been better actually making it a two-storey extension at the back where they've got one.
Yeah.
So we've got, when you look at the view, the difference between the proposed east elevation, you've got a couple of pointy bits. If you look at the existing, you've just got one. So there's quite a big difference on that east elevation.
Yeah.
More than really the south, north-south.
It doesn't seem to fit though, does it, the way it's there?
I mean, it
Oh, that must be
makes
the top
it
of the garage, the second, the close
it makes it totally different look.
Yeah.
So can I just say what I've scribbled down listening to you? You're concerned about such a large structure right up against the boundary. You're concerned that it would be out of character, and the wording that I've used is that the infill would upset the rhythm and pattern of the existing
Yes.
street scene.
Oh, I love the way you kept that to yourself and came up with that
And
later,
you're
yeah.
concerned about the overbearing relationship with that
Yeah.
that neighbouring property.
Yeah.
Yeah? Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
About new views, first of all, level.
Well, I mean, we need to check on terms of like overlooking and stuff with neighbouring gardens with the windows at the back.
So are we sufficiently concerned to object?
Can we assume that all of those velexes are all at an angle?
They're all pitched upwards.
They're all pitched upwards, aren't they? So
Yeah.
it would assume that
They're not going to be,
from
no.
the roof. Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Joe's right.
They do look like quite high level, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
higher up as well. Joanna?
Let's go for it. I'm going to propose we object because of the, what was it you said, the effect on the street scene of the
Yeah,
side
yeah.
of the street stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Effectively
Yeah.
turning it into a terrace
Yeah.
as opposed to separate bungalows.
And yeah, if we can have some of the
And then
G2
we want
stuff
to-
in there
with
as
some
well.
concern about overlooking and light on adjacent properties.
Yeah.
The amenity of adjacent properties.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll second that. Vote on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to abstain.
I'm going to abstain.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
sit down on it.
Yeah, it's one abstention.
We looked at it.
And so it needs all the G2 stuff, the renewable energy and things, thank you. Right, okay, oh. Right, okay, right.
I am sorry that I couldn't reply to your email about the next one, Joanna, but I have. I think
Did
that
I make
I've
an email about
provided
something?
about the
Henry-
pavement, the Shirley Williams email.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I
yes.
think that you've all got a copy of that on with your papers.
Before we get into that, can we just have a vote for extra hour, please? So I propose an extra hour extension. Sandy? Sandy, all in favour? Yeah, thank
If you
you.
must.
Rather than breaking Duncan up in full flow. Go, right, so PA 25/08280, installation of street hub and removal of 4 associated payphones. Can we also say
No,
cash
this is
point in
about
there?
the,
Can we also say cash point in here? So it's quite interesting considering the meeting that Joanna and I sat in on this morning. We didn't actually consider street furniture and things. So, yeah, go for it, Duncan.
Right. Okay. So this is the installation of a street hub and the removal of 4 associated payphones. So we'll just have a look at
what is a street hub when it's at home?
I shall shed light on it in a moment for you. So this is I have sort of had a premonition that you might ask that question. Colin. So this is the area here, isn't it, in front of sort of in front of the train station, and what's now the tech store. Right, so got a nice street view of the area, and you can see there are numerous phone boxes.
And cash point.
And one of them is a cash. One of them is a cash point. Yeah. So, what is a BT Street hub? From the planning statement, these units offer a gigabyte of free public space, Wi-Fi, free UK calls, USB charging, an emergency services button, and a range of other digital services in the vicinity. HD screens, because it's a big two-sided HD screen, I'll show you it in a minute. It displays on both sides and are used to carry advertising which helps you fund the units. Very much like the numerous units that we looked at some months ago that are planned for around the town.
So this is a BT competition?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I'm sure that I've got a, we've got some photo montage. I'm going to start with the site plan actually.
You're not taking it seriously.
Sorry, photo montage.
You haven't come here to have fun, you know.
No, absolutely not. Right, so the site plan, what looks like a roof here is actually that cobbled area. I was looking at it for ages thinking, what the hell's that the roof of? It's not, that's the sort of cobbled area that's, what's it being called at the moment? Some kind of community amenity space or something, isn't it?
It's got 3 balloon planters on there, haven't it?
Yeah, it's got the planters on it, it's got the bench over here, and you've got your phone boxes and cash machine in a line here. This indicates a total of 5 existing telephone booths. 4 of which are proposed to be removed. One of these currently operating as a cash machine. The street unit would stand adjacent to the cash machine phone booth that is going to be removed. So I'll just zoom in a bit and bring that over. So the cash machine is this one here. That's going to go. And your booth is going to, your street hub is going to sit here, okay? We've got existing and proposed elevations and a bit of a photo montage. I think we'll start with I thought this was really useful because this shows you effectively what it's going to look like. Yeah, but then you know these things are, and then we've got some line drawings of what's going to be removed. But I think effectively this picture here is probably the most useful one. Oh yeah, that's just the same picture that they've used again. There's a load of information on how bright they will be. They're designed not to be so bright that they're going to cause traffic accidents and stuff like that, but you would still be able to see them from a distance. So they put a lot of time and effort into, they sort of follow the professional lighting guide for this stuff. So just to allay any concerns that it's going to be like dazzling drivers, it should not be. I thought that I'd put in, and I haven't done, I thought I'd put in I have done. There we go. I'm very pleased to have found this. So the ones that we were looking at not so long ago included one that is going to sit here. So you've got one that's going to be on over here. The BT one, you can just about see the top of that cash machine over that that phone booth there. So you'll have a BT one here, and then as part of the this other rollout that's going to include many more, you're going to have one of these here, okay?
Isn't that where the new cycle path was proposed, right there?
Are you talking about this, you're talking about this one here?
that one.
Well, that, we're not being consulted on that, that's already gone, I don't know if that's been approved yet, but that's a,
On the road, not on the footpath.
yeah.
Right,
I don't
okay.
think they're taking anything
Just-
off that footpath
I'm just thinking
there.
a lot of street furniture. It's quite big, isn't it? It's like a big mobile phone.
It is like a big mobile phone. So,
They
they
offer
offer
yeah.
1 gigabyte of free public Wi-Fi, 3 UK calls, USB charging, an emergency services button, a range of other digital services, and HD displays on the side which carry advertising. So the one on this side here, we are hoping that that will be able to do things like publicise town council meetings and stuff like that. Because we've had some input into that. And there's going to be numerous ones around the town.
I just don't think it would be, I mean, I know we're not discussing the one on the right, we're just talking about the one on the left, which wouldn't be a problem, but I think the one on the right would be, because the amount of...
But like you say, that's not what we're being
We're not
consulted
discussing
on.
that.
I just wanted to give you an idea of the, because I thought someone might ask about the
What it does though is
other
then
ones.
have, it's,
What Shirley is saying is that we're waiting for the metro scheme.
yeah,
The active travel is supposed to be producing a plan for this area,
yeah,
and this is jumping in,
yeah.
and I think we need to wait for the, so that to make sure it's integrated into the existing,
Yeah.
that's what she's saying.
Yeah, so I don't think we can really support, because then if we go and support it and put it in, and then they're going to object, because and then refuse
Well,
to
they'll not be able to do what they
put
can
a
do.
whole new scheme in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it maybe becoming a performance space, I'm not sure, but if this area is going to be really looked at within a bigger picture, then I'm thinking it's
I mean, in principle, I don't object to it, but in practice, we need to make sure it's integrated with, it's based on the existing street scene, and that street scene is proposed to be changed fairly soon. So I'm prepared to, I'm prepared to propose objection on the basis that it's premature, they need to work with the active travel scheme.
And I'm concerned as well about the loss of ATMs, about that not being replaced somewhere. Because that is a big issue. Sorry, that is a big issue these days, isn't it? The loss of ATMs and being able to access cash, especially. No, it'll be a general link one, I imagine. Yes, but link, it doesn't have to be attached to a bank, cash points, especially it being by the railway station there. I think, people coming on or off the train use it. Obviously, they might feel... Yes, I think, and loss of...
There is an ATM at Asda, and I think there's one along at the Morrison Daily as well. But I will.
Okay.
Obviously, I'll include that comment.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it might not carry that much weight.
So, seconder for Joanna? Yeah. Lamorna's seconded. All in favour? Yeah. No objection on that one. Thank you. Right.
I'm hoping we can do this next one very quickly.
Yeah, application 5, PA 25/08125, 13 Bayview Terrace, comprising a 3-storey attached house converted into 4 self-contained flats. This is a certificate of lawful development of an existing use. So it has already been converted in and has been working that way. So hopefully they've got some proof that that's what's happened. Duncan?
Yeah. Yeah, basically the planning statement says that it comprises a 3-storey attached house. It is arranged internally as 4 self-contained units. The council investigated the use of the property as a 4 self-contained residential flats in 2010, as it had been converted into what it is at the moment without planning permission. The council told them to put in a retrospective planning application in 2010. They didn't do that, and effectively the statute of limitations has passed. Nobody did anything, nobody in enforcement did anything about it other than, or they didn't follow up and check that a planning application had gone in. It has passed the period of time in which if it can have a certificate of lawful development and therefore be immune from enforcement action. Unless any of you know any different, then we have no grounds to object to it.
So propose an objection.
Yeah, second that. All in favour, no objection? Yeah, thank you.
Under the circumstances.
And we've done, and we've done number 8. Number 9. Oh, I love this. Right, PA 25/08384, 15 Hillgrove Road, re-extension to provide additional bedrooms for family and amenity space. Duncan.
I just say that last one, we almost just gave it an agreed response, but it was just that it was obviously a bit controversial in terms of it. They were doing something they shouldn't have done, so we decided that we would discuss it at the meeting.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we almost added that to the list of recommended responses, but then thought better of it. Right, 15 Hillgrove Road. I know this well. I walk past it with the dog very often.
It's on the corner just down from the
Okay,
telephone
so,
exchange.
yeah, this is the property. It's a rear extension. I'll bring up the location plan. What I wanted to point out, you can see from the street view, is that there's a lane access down the side there. You can see that on the plan here. It's adjacent to what local residents call the Colvreth cut-through. It's my understanding that this lane is not a designated public right-of-way, and that it's not owned by Cornwall Council, although it is used a lot, especially by students on their way, cutting through on their way to Tredarris, and dog walkers such as myself who want to go down Hillgrove Road. Ownership is likely to be by a freeholder, and like so many of these lanes, the ownership is lost in the mists of time, hence the poor state repair of it. I tell you about the lane because it is relevant to the application. So I'm going to start off. I don't usually, but I'm going to start off with the floor plans because they tell the story of this one really. So I think I can make that slightly bigger. No, keep it at that size. So what you're looking at is a 2-storey property. The front is along the bottom of the drawing there, and it has a rear outbuilding, single-storey rear outbuilding. Okay, the proposal, shows the. It allows for 2 additional bedrooms and a laundry room and a hallway, effectively linking up this structure here with the rest of the house. To be honest, I'd be surprised if much of this remains as part of the finished plan. As you can see, they're linking it up. Okay, like I say, 2 bedrooms and a laundry. It's a single-storey flat roof. The elevations. The top left is the existing street-facing elevation, and you'll see there's no difference apart from the fact that they've painted their windows grey. There's no difference between the two. The southeast elevation, this one here, that faces the neighbour that's just down the hill on this side here, okay? the existing southeast elevation only shows the main dwelling. It doesn't show that outbuilding on the end. If we look at the proposed though, which is this drawing here, you can see the outbuilding would have been this bit here effectively, and they've joined it all together. So so it extends back quite a way. The southwest elevation, this is the rear. If we compare the two, it gives us an idea of the increased mass at the back of the property. So that's the southwest, the bottom left-hand corner there. The southwest on this one is the top right. They jump about a bit, these. So you can see that the new parts of the building have extended in a northwest direction, so towards the wall that bounds with that lane, okay? And then the northwest elevation, just have a quick look. So this wall here, it forms one side of the lane, and then there's a garage door. I'll show you. I've got a picture that I can show you. Somehow the Google car managed to go down the cut through, which is very impressive. So that's Hillgrove Road there, and so what you can see here is the main dwelling. This is the bit that I was just saying forms part of the wall of the lane. You've got the outbuilding here, and this is going to be developed and the two joined up. But this doesn't just build backwards, it comes towards us. So effectively, you're going to have a flush wall along here. This bit here will actually be inside the new structure.
Is that going to affect passing on that lane? Does anyone drive up and down it?
They don't drive up and down it because you can't. This is why I'm surprised that that the Google car has gone down it, because you kind of sort of wonder how he got back out again. They don't. So yeah, that's so cruel. So effectively, the wall will just seamlessly carry along there. It says there are no pedestrian and vehicle access roads and rights of way that are being changed. I have never seen a vehicle, because I live quite close by. I've never seen a vehicle. Never ever seen it. Yeah. I think it might have been, but maybe this was in the days when cars were a lot smaller. I don't know. It's some sort of, I guess, storage unit now.
Is the property residential?
Oh yes. Yeah. What, the main dwelling? Yeah. No, it is. It's a fair old size, and it's going to have an additional two bedrooms. My only concern when I was looking at this was that, because I don't really think that it's going to, it's not going to impact Hillgrove Road, and I don't think it's going to harm this street scene particularly. You may think differently, obviously. My only concern is that maybe a construction plan would be needed to ensure the cut-through doesn't get blocked at all whilst the work's taking place. As I say, half of Shathera school walk along here at 9 o'clock in the morning on their way to school. Yeah. So anyway, agreed as a recommended response, but I think there is a point there to be made. No, so oh, you can't quite see it. Hang on.
Can we look at the location plan?
Yeah, sure. I'll just do this bit that Sarah's asking about. I don't know if it's showing up very well, but this is the existing.
Yeah.
And then this here, you wouldn't be able to see because there's a little dotted line going on there. It's a block wall. So the wall, so this will be behind what will effectively be an unbroken wall.
So there's not going to be any door or gateway access into that lane?
Not into that, not from that property into the lane, no. This window here it's a high level window and it's to the bit of the extension that will be the laundry.
The location plan.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're wildly different. The properties down here, they're wildly different in this area of Hillgrove. Construction plan and G2, yeah. Got no updates for that. Can I do that for you tomorrow? Because that whole highway thing isn't on this agenda, and I promise I will sort it out for you tomorrow.
The parking working party report. So I was going to call the parking working party to discuss the competing claims.
Okay.
We'll come out there.
Okay, we can bring that up now. Hang on. Bearing in mind that the scheme, the highway scheme, specifically says nothing to do with parking. That's why, following my conversations with the town clerk, we agreed that the parking working party wouldn't be the place for it, and that's why I suggested. That's where the suggestion for a short-term working party.
Now, what's happened is that they have extended the time to get our act together on this.
Yep.
So I was going to propose, because of Christmas, because of the by-election, I was going to propose a meeting in January to discuss let everybody get their schemes together and then come back and we will review it under the parking working party and then report back to P&L with plenty of time to.
The town clerk felt that seeing as this is a scheme that says parking is absolutely nothing to do with it, that the parking working party wasn't the place for it.
Well, I think this is wrong. That includes highway schemes.
But they-
It doesn't mean
I can't lay my, you'd have to give me a minute to lay my hands on the terms of reference for the parking working
Well, I did
party.
send that round in an email.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So effectively, someone, Sarah, needs to talk to the clerk and say, we are not happy because you are, we have a process that
Right.
works. And what on earth's going on that someone is going straight to full council without giving the opportunity for everybody else in the council to put their bids forward?
Yeah,
And that's what the parking working, we call it the parking working party.
but it covers everything, yeah.
And that is our proposal.
Yeah.
So effectively, I will be standing up and having a row in full council if this goes ahead.
Copy Andy into that, did you?
No, I didn't. I was going to, then I decided.
Are you all right for me to forward this to him, just with a little explanation as to why he's got it?
You've got it, Duncan, haven't
I
you?
know, I'm not opening it on here because I shouldn't be opening my emails in a public meeting.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Now we need to go to the
Yeah.
clerk and say,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
process is
that's fine.
established.
Yeah.
This part is, it's authorised.
Duncan, could you...
It is simply not fair for a committee to try and push their own without having anybody else a chance to do this.
You're not open tomorrow. Could you forward it to Jacob? Jacob, could you print it out, please, for me? And well, you're not in the morning, are you? We've got the working party in the morning, but Jacob will be here in the morning. So if you could forward that email from Joanna on to Jacob, and if Jacob, if you can put it down, we can pick out the printout and we can actually wave it out, Andy. I'm more happy doing that.
I find the whole thing extraordinary because, and what I would be saying is because of the extension, we don't have to rush to get it done before Christmas.
And
we can give everybody a chance to consider and come back in early January, and then we can make a decision, come back to P&L.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And respond by the closure date.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, Jacob. Brilliant.
Look forward to an interesting full council.
Maybe we'll have a chance to talk to Andy tomorrow if he's in.
Well, hopefully he'll be in. If not, I'll be passing messages and we can pass the piece of paper on to Laura and going, our expectations.
There is nothing wrong with the scheme that ENF have put forward. It came out of an email that I sent to
we can discuss it later.
A complaint by some of my residents, but it's just not fair to breach the process.
Yeah,
it may very well be the final choice of the P&L.
Yes, Joanna. Go on, turn your dibber off. Right, okay. Reports and any associated recommendations from working parties. No, we've done that, haven't we?
From the last meeting, I was looking for a recommendation from the working party about the off-street parking places amendment order, and I've responded to that. But I don't think you've met, have you?
No.
No.
When did we have to report all that? I mean, it wasn't. All they were doing was raising.
They're adding Town Headland to the parking order. We don't have to respond to it.
No, I don't think.
It's interesting because I'm working on that. Yes. It was because of parking issues fall within our party. It really should be a parking working party. They're still working on it. What appears to be happening is that they're taking out the camera. They've took the cameras out. It's restored to Cornwall Council, but they're not actually charging over winter because there is no ability now to charge. I think that's what they're doing. Or are they charging a small fee?
Okay, well, we need a working party date, don't we? We need a working party date in January. So if we can get that organised, then
I think
we can discuss it then.
I think that you'll miss the deadline for this, though.
No, what's the deadline?
I can double check it if you'll bear with. I think it's.
I mean, effectively, what they're saying is, and we can do that by email. Are we happy that Cornwall Council takes back Town Headland under its management? Yes, we are. Come on, guys. Yes, we are. Because anything else is a disaster.
I'm going to be able to. Yeah.
The working party can meet. We can discuss it over email.
I'll email you the deadline date for it. I can't lay my hands on it quickly at the moment. Sorry, I thought I could.
Need to let us know. Right, financial statement. No, you haven't been skiing, Duncan. Not been spending, Orin.
No, but I am feeding back to you about the budget. I fed back to you the last one with what Anne had to say about it. So, as previously reported, we have £15,957 in the Newquay Neighbourhood Plan Earmarked Reserves Fund. For this reason, you'll recall that the RFO is recommending that going forward we increase the P&L budget for the EMR in order to accumulate the necessary funds to eventually finance the new neighbourhood plan. So, a couple of meetings ago, the proposed budget of £5,000 for the civic year 26-27 was agreed to be transferred to the earmarked reserve fund. That's been recommended to GNR. That's twice what we would normally do. So normally it would be 2,500, and this time it was 5. Yeah. Which raised questions, especially when I provided you with some info from the RFO that suggested that next year it will be 10, and the year after that it will be 10. Yeah. So you had Anne's response last time, but she did say Andy's the person to talk to. He wasn't available. He is now. So I met with him. He met with and spoke to planning consultants at the recent Clerks conference. reports that he reports that a ballpark figure, having spoken to consultants who specialise in neighbourhood plans, he reports that a ballpark figure of £20,000 is likely, and that may not include larger changes such as boundaries, conservation areas, etc. He says that in addition, the referendum fee is likely to come in at between 14 and 16k. This is what he is being told. Then there is the examiner's fee on top of that. Any brand new policies, which we may or may not have, are likely to bump the cost up even more. So that's what this is the information that he's come back with, asked me to share with you. He is very happy to discuss this further with any councillors who still have ongoing concerns.
Well, I have ongoing concerns because it seems to be, I can live with the 5,000, although I don't think it's necessary. I have ongoing concerns of that it's bumping up the precept for using the neighbourhood plan, and I just don't see that there's not that many changes coming in. There's a lot of housekeeping, tidying things up. But what the cost that we had last time was because we employed consultants to do, for instance, the nuclear character study. Well, that's a document that's...
So what I suggest, if we catch Andy tomorrow, you need to make an appointment to see Andy to discuss that with him.
Well, we don't have to worry about it until next year, because their proposal is this great big... And we probably need to find out from Cornwall Council what they think the extra charges are, rather than Andy picking it up from sort of discussions with other clerks, because we're not starting from scratch. We've got a fairly sound document which needs a bit of tweaking.
He does say that this is based on update. The information he's got isn't based on starting from scratch, it's based on updating.
Yeah, well, I don't see it, because we're not looking to employ consultants. I think the charge of the referendum is what we need to talk to with Cornwall Council. Let them come back with tell us what the referendum is likely to cost. But
well, again, that's something to take up with Andy, isn't it? Sort of,
it's something that we need to look at next year to say, right, you know, what are these extra charges and if we do need the extra money for the referendum, that's fine. But we need a little bit more evidence than we have at the moment.
Right, okay. Other correspondence?
I did receive an email from Mr. Weller, whose application for 6A and 7 Central Square we looked at when we last met. In commenting on our submitted comment, Mr. Weller referred to the 2 toilet blocks and wash facilities at the rear of the property, which kind of validated our objection, I thought, because we'd raised concerns, A, about staff toilets, and B, about the fact that the plans didn't show the rear of the property in enough detail. That's just my take from that. I responded to him accordingly, saying that we don't comment on applications once we've commented to Cornwall Council, and I've outlined the process to him that is likely to be followed. I just thought that what he had to say kind of validated what the reason for our objection in the first place. Other than that, I think...
Well, I mean, well done, because I thought his thing was quite curt and abrupt, so well done for dealing with that in a sound way, a calming way. Weekly decisions. I don't think there was anything amazing on the weekly decisions list. I've just had, it was only a few anyway. But then the big decision is the Paradise Cove decision came in today, which it's been dismissed. Yeah, go on, John. As long as you're quick.
Very quick. I am disappointed that they made no comment at all about our planning works. I did ask him. I said, what's the position on with that? And he took no notice of that at all. He just summarised the engineering arguments. He said he'd seen the video and he agreed with us that it didn't prove what they were claiming to prove. So the whole thing is a fascinating read, but it is just about the alternative, what the alternative engineer thing is. And he didn't comment at all on basically What I think is possibly that, you know, how legal are these applications coming through? So as it stands, there is nothing to stop them coming in tomorrow with another application. I don't think when this time we made our comments to say is this actually legal? I used your words, and I think we should, when it does come in, I think we should ask that question. You know, there's this. Are these applications coming in 20 years after the event? Are they? Yes, well, I asked the question, but he didn't. He avoided it. He purely talked about the engineering thing and just summarised the arguments from both sides, and then said no, which is good news.
Yeah.
It's a good result,
yeah.
but it does open the door for them to come back again.
It will come back again, which is
It
what
would
I
probably
think.
come back again even if you did go into it. So,
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, date of next meeting is Wednesday the 10th of December. Good
Gosh.
grief.
Christmas is coming.
And thank you, everybody. I think that's it, unless anybody's got anything really desperate to... No, they haven't. Well done. Brilliant. Okay, thank you.